Hello there everybody, this is Krista and welcome back to Gothic Tarot, and today, I'm so excited. 'Tis the season, the best time of the year. It is officially, in my eyes, spooky season. So, I wanted to share with you all the decks I have out that I'm really excited to use this, beginning of fall season for Samhain, Halloween. I've got a lot pulled out here. So, a lot of these decks, I guess just to say, are not, decks I will only use this time of year. I have a few, and I'm sure, just with the amount I just word vomit, I'll mention it. If there's a deck that I will only use this time of year. But a lot of these I will use other times, but they just really fit the vibe, so they really come out to play even more. So let's just get started. We're gonna do, I actually separated these out a little bit methodically, so good on me. We're gonna do tarot and then oracle. So let's go. So this one we're starting with, oh my goodness gracious, I don't really know what this one's called. I'm gonna guess it's like called Halloween Tarot in some fashion. But it's on Etsy. I will put links below. I've been so good about that. Yay me. But this is one actually Andy gifted to me, but I know I've seen it on Etsy. So this is one I only use during Halloween because it's themed for Halloween, but look at these backs. And this deck is just so much fun. It's got all of these open source vintage Halloween images that I absolutely love. I love anything that has a vintage feel to it. That is just completely my jam. So this was such a fun surprise when Andy sent this one to me. And every time October rolls around, I get so excited to use this one. I'm really excited to see how it pairs with some of my more vintage decks I've got recently. I absolutely love this one. I also got some new stickers for my journaling that are vintage Halloween stickers. I'm pretty sure I've got this witch as a sticker. I've got her as a sticker. A lot of the images that show up in this deck I have in sticker form because they're open source images, so anyone can use them, but I think it's gonna be so fun to be able to use the stickers and potentially find the same, I've got her as a sticker. Isn't this so good? Oh, I love it. I can match the sticker to the cards. How fun is that? This one is just, it's so fun. It really is so much fun to read with. The images are interesting. I feel like sometimes they take a more numerical approach. This Three of Swords, to me, looking through the keyhole, it's more about expansion of thought rather than the RWS of this emotional pain kind of thing. But it's interesting. It's just really fun. So this one, I'm gonna guess it's called Halloween Tarot, but I will link it below. Oh, I already can tell I'm gonna make a mess here. And that's okay. I should make a bin just with all these decks. That's a good idea. Future me. Next up, the Nightmare Before Christmas Tarot. I absolutely love this deck. I will use this one. I don't tend to use it the lighter half of the year, but pretty much all of fall. And even a lot of times in winter, I will pull this one out. It's all mixed around for some reason. Who knows? I probably dropped it. But yeah, I mean, it's a tarot based on The Nightmare Before Christmas, which is probably my favorite Halloween movie. I love this movie so much. I love this deck. I actually really enjoy the bit of Pippish minors we get going on in this deck. Are we turning this way now? No, of course not. How could it be that easy? We're just gonna hold it. It's fine. Yeah, I think this deck is great. And actually, so this is one of the Insight Edition decks, and Well, I'm not usually one to kind of feel like I can only have like one deck in one category. Obviously, we're making a whole video on just the decks I have out for Halloween, but for some reason, something about this deck makes it so a lot of the other Insight Edition decks just don't, not that I haven't tried like tons of them, but they don't stick around in my collection because this one just beats it out every time. There's something really like, there's some sort of unique feeling to the Insight Edition decks that I get, and so specifically with this publisher, I feel like I don't need more than one Insight Edition deck per vibe, if that makes sense. Like, I've got this one, I've got the, oh my goodness, Lord of the Rings Tarot, and then any others that I've tried, they don't end up staying, because I'm like, well, I've got it covered. I don't know, isn't that interesting? I don't know what that's about, but I love this one. I'm so excited to have it out again. And this bag it's in is an old Moonlit Fae bag that, again, Andy sent to me because she had it and knew how much I love this deck. So now it's got its little, like, proper home. Exciting. Okay. Next, we've got a classic that actually I've been using all September long, along with Andy. The Deviant Moon Tarot. Isn't this one we all get out for spooky season? I mean, it's a deck completely inspired by nightmares and things that happen in the dark, so it seems right that as we enter into this darker half of the year that this is one we would just collectively want to pull out. But I love this one all year long. It's such a good one. I love the like shape and size of the cards too. They're a little bit oversized, but I love how it just brings out the imagery. And I do now have, that I've been working with this month, the big like coffee table book, guidebook, and it's really good. I really, it's just like making the connection with these cards. Like some of these images I wouldn't have seen a certain way if not for that book. Like, oh my gosh, what was one from just the other day? It was the Five of Cups? I'm pretty sure it was the Five of Cups. Did I already pass that, or is it gonna be in here? Yeah, here it is. Five of Cups. Every time I've pulled this card, I assume it's a mother and a child. But the book highlights how it's actually a husband and wife. Doesn't that, it just completely changes the feel of this card for me. Oh, it's so interesting. So, Deviant Moon Tarot, we don't have to spend too long on that one because, you know, we all know that one, I'm sure. Next, the Gothic Tarot. Love this one. This one is my vampire deck. Although I have to admit, I had the Vampire Tarot, the Ian Daniels Vampire Tarot, for a hot second. And then ended up rehoming it because I think it just felt really, really intense for me at the time. And then after that, I got this one, which feels like it's like a vampire deck, but a little less like, to me it just feels a little less intense. Although, like, the guidebook on this, the full-size guidebook you can get separately, fantastic. This deck is fantastic, so nothing to say, like, that this one isn't, like, also really good. But I think it's just the imagery, that's really, it was about the imagery. The imagery on this one feels a little less intense. But I've been kind of thinking about that other Vampire Tarot. I'm kind of wondering if maybe, like, maybe it's time. I don't know. But I really, really love this one. I'm excited to have it out. It definitely gives off this, I think what I like about the imagery on this one too, it gives off this spooky Victorian graveyard feel that I love this time of year. Kind of makes me think of that show, Penny Dreadful, which is fantastic if you have not seen it. It's so good. And it reminds me a little bit of the Vampire Tarot too with these aces, because I know the Ian Daniels ones has aces that are a little bit similar, but I love the color palette of this, how we pretty much strictly have these reds and this like misty blue-gray. I just think it's so beautiful. Oh my gosh, they're very like ghostly. So I think it's gonna be so perfect for this time of year. I'm really, really excited to have this out again. So that is the Gothic Tarot. I'm excited to find some good pairings for this one as well. This one might be featured in a deck speed dating, because yeah, I feel like that it could be a little bit tricky to pair, but when it does pair with something, it's gonna be good. All right, next up, the Practical Magic Inner Witch Tarot. Now this is one that I backed it on Kickstarter, and just because of like the printing delays that I know were definitely going on last year. I don't know any scope of anything to know if that's still going on. I'm sure it is. Who knows? Anyway, we were supposed to have it before October last year, but just with delays and stuff, we ended up getting it in November. And I had a like weird reaction to this deck. And I don't know why. I really don't know why. I don't know what it was. Like I remember I filmed a whole walkthrough and then like just had to delete it because I was like, this is just like, I'm having a reaction to this that would just like be not that nice to share. And so I put it away for a while. And then at the beginning of the year with the start of the deck and walk with Marlena, I used this as my deck and walk deck for a while. And something about doing that just really made it work for me. I think I just needed to really spend time with these cards. I don't know, thinking back on it, like I don't really know why I had such like a weird reaction. But I think that can happen sometimes. I don't know. And it's always, through this experience, I've discovered that it's worth it to just put it away for a little while and revisit, because now I love this deck. I think it is so fantastic. It is so witchy and fun, and the guidebook is really like, it's written in this fun, I've got like stuff on the cards now from leaving them out. It's written through this very witchy lens. And I think it's gonna be, I'm so excited now that we're like back around to October, because I think this is gonna be really fun to use throughout October. But this is one I've been using since like, I probably had this out for the deck and walk for like the first like 3 months, I wanna say. Maybe 4. It was a while. But I ended up not using it for that anymore because I wanted to read with it. And so I've been using this ton since. It feels like just like the perfect, just when you really want that witchy, magical feel. This deck is so perfect for that. And I love how it takes gender out of the equation. I think it's really well done. And so I'm glad look at this. Instead of Hierophant, it's the Book of Shadows. How cool is that? And here's the backs. We've got the elements. It's really neat. I highly recommend. And I'm glad that I didn't like trust that initial like, what is this reaction? I wish I could even tell you like what it was, because I think it just, sometimes I think it's like, maybe I just was in a weird mood and just needed to not. And so that's what I did. And I'm so glad, because now this is like really becoming quite a favorite. So Practical Magic Inner Witch Tarot. A good one. Alright, next we've got the Murder of Crows. This is one I've had for... I probably actually got this around last winter, and I used it a bit, and then kind of put this one away for a while too. And I'm excited to have this one out. I really would like to spend some more extensive time with this deck, because it really does intrigue me. I think just because, like, visually, how it is, it's just one that I couldn't really read with it in the spring and summer. It just did not make sense in my brain to use it. But now that we're coming around to, again, to this darker half of the year, the whole veil thinning thing, I'm looking at this one again. I'm like, okay, I think it is her time. This is a really, really cool deck. It is so spooky feeling. I of course love the crow theme. I really like the darkness of this deck. It makes it really interesting. It's like, it's dark, but it doesn't feel like a shadow work per se. I don't know. I saw, oh my god, this was like sometime last year, and this is why I got the deck. I saw Jess from Jess Reads Cards pairing this tarot for quite some time with the Divine Muses Oracle, where she would pull one from here, from this deck, one from the Divine Muses, and oh my gosh, the visual that created was amazing. So good. And like, from reading what she shared of her reading too, it just like seemed like it read really well. And so I'd gotten a used copy of the Divine Muses, and I was like, I want to try this out. And I don't know that I ever did. Such is life, but we'll have to try that. So, Murder of Crows Tarot. Really excited about this one. Alright. We are almost at the end of the tarots. Next up we've got the Dark Mansion Tarot, another classic. Again, it has this spooky Victorian feel to it that is exactly what I am seeking out this time of year in just everything I interact with. This is the time of year. This, I think, it comes with like different back choices. I got this one used, but if I were to buy it new, this is the one I probably would have picked anyway, because isn't that pretty? It's very, very rose petal. So it's not an easy deck to shuffle. I wouldn't recommend riffle shuffling it. I tried. Definitely bent a card. But this reminds me, this card in particular, and the Strength card, reminds me of the Veronica Speedwell Mysteries, which is probably my top mystery series. So if you haven't read any of those, highly recommend. I'm not caught up on them. Because reading is hard when you cannot focus. But I find it easier to sit and read in the fall and winter, so I'm really excited to be getting back into that. But regardless, this reminds me of the just kind of style of books I like to read in the fall and winter. And I feel like this one works for me in the winter as well. I think just because it's got that association for me, but I really love this one. Look at that death card. It's so good. It's got a spooky feel to it. It looks like the, oh my gosh, who creates those like claymation characters? What's that called again? Literally the ones who created it's one guy who did Nightmare Before Christmas. What's that called? Did Corpse Bride? All those movies. What's his name? Oh, I'm sure someone out there knows what I'm talking about, but it looks like the same kind of animation style as like Nightmare Before Christmas, Corpse Bride, Frankenweenie, those movies. So I love it for that as well. Oh, here's what I bent. Love that. It's not, well, it's kind of, it's more, you can feel it more than you can see it, but yeah. Oops. I thought thought it was a Knight of Swords too, and it was a Knight of Wands. But that's alright. She's still usable. So, that is the Dark Mansion Tarot. Love this one. I'm kind of thinking about that latest deck that came out. The one, like the folklore, it's like a folkloric deck, but Slavic Legends. But I feel to me that's more like winter, so I don't know. If you have that one and like it, let me know what you think. Or whatever your thoughts are on that. Let me know. Okay, next, the classic, the Halloween Tarot. I've got this one in the full size, I've got it in the tin, and I love it. The tin stays out all year long because it just is a, look at, I mean, how cute. It is a comfort deck for me for sure. It's just a really fun one. What did I do? Hold on. Do you see this? There's like a crease in it. What did I do to that? Who knows? Anyways, doesn't matter. I pull this deck out all the time just as like a fun, it makes me feel better type deck. So I leave the tin out all year long, but the full size pretty much comes out during October. And I got the box set with the full-size guidebook, and if this is a deck you really love and you don't have the full-size guidebook, I highly recommend. I said this last year too when I got it, it is good. It is so good. And it'll make you just like see some of these cards in a new way, which I think is so cool for a deck that I think sometimes at like face value is just like a fun kind of kitschy deck, which, I mean, hey, if that's all, if that's what you want it to be, totally fine. And that's how I look at it most of the year. But the guidebook really does add something to it, so I definitely recommend. But this deck is fun. We all know it's fun. Yes, love it. I won't say anymore because that wasn't obvious, you know? Halloween Tarot. Okay. 2 more tarots. Next we've got the Ghosts and Spirits. This is another one that she will just stay out until spring. Because I love this deck. And I think it was Tara at Cozy Core Craft Tarot. I'll link her below. I think it's Cozy Core Craft Tarot, or anyways, she just showed this in her fall decks and said that it reminds her, it has like a very fairy tale feel to it as well, and I agree. And for me, fairy tales is really something I lean into in the winter time, so that's why this one, it just stays out for the whole dark half of the year. But I really like this one. The little guidebook is so good. It gives you a whole story about all of the ghosts that show up. And it was Tara too. Look at that card. Tara too that said that she feels like it's almost like a single card draw deck because there is so much in one card, and I totally agree. Sometimes I feel like pulling more than one card from this deck can be a little overwhelming to me as well. But it is so good. It's so good. I really love this one. I'm excited to have it out again. And it's just so gorgeous. I think too that the artwork is very involved, so something about that also makes me really just want to focus on one card at a time, which is perfectly fine. Ooh, you know what this could be fun for? I was watching too about like the 78 Drop 'em challenge, where starting October 15th, you pick a deck and like each day you go through a card through the end of the year, and then like you'll be through the whole deck. This could be a really fun one to do that for. Because the guidebook isn't super big, it's not overwhelming, but it is like every card really does have a story. Ooh, because I kind of wanted to do that challenge. Maybe that might be fun. That was a total side note, but that is the Ghosts and Spirits Tarot by Lisa Hunt. Okay, our last tarot is the Tarot of the Unknown. This is the farewell printing, so this is the full size, but which is, it's out of print, unfortunately. But you can still get a mini size of it, for sure. I'll link that below, but I'm pretty positive that's still going on. So these are the backs of this one, which looks wintry, but the fronts to me are very fall, and the show itself is very fall. So what I do like about the pocket edition is that the backs feel more like fall vibe. But regardless, this deck is based off the show Over the Garden Wall, which is a fall / Halloween time must watch for me. I restart it every single year. It's one of my favorite cartoons. I think it's just so amazing. And so, like, there's a deck out there on it, so of course I have it. And this is one that I love having it out while I'm watching the show, doing readings while watching the show, about the show. I don't know, it's fun. It's fun. I really, really love the whole feel of this deck because it's just one of my favorite shows. And if there is a deck about one of the cartoons I like, you know I'm gonna have it. I've got like a whole little mini collection of my kind of like, I don't even know if I would say like they're fandoms per se, but like the shows I like. I've got a whole little collection, and this is in there. But this is probably, besides the Adventure Time Tarot, which I read with all the time, after that, this is probably the one that I like actually do readings with the most. Some of the other ones are just kind of like, I have them to play with while watching the show, but I don't really do readings with them. This one I do though, and I really, really enjoy it. It's so good. I love the Suit of Pentacles is the pumpkin people, which I really, really love. Look at that. I think the only suit I don't love, but I understand it, is the cup suit. Goes to that Halloween party, like back in their real life existence rather than this like fantasy forest. But I also don't really love that. It's important to the show. I won't give anything away, but I don't really like getting out of that like magical fantasy world. So in the show too, so like that explains why I don't love that suit. But anyways, Tarot of the Unknown. That is the last tarot. I'm gonna take a talking break for a hot second, and I'll be back with the oracles. Okay, and we're back. So, moving on to the oracles I'm excited to use for spooky season. We are going to start with the Earthly Souls and Spirits Moon Oracle. Now, this is not like a specifically Halloween one to me, but it's got such a fun, witchy feel to it that I know I'm going to be excited to use it. This is one, this is new to me, and so I haven't read with it too much. How fun are those? But I really love it with the Practical Magic Inner Witch Tarot, just to really like double up on that witchy feel. But this, I love just the size of this deck. I feel like this also it's a little bit larger than tarot size. I love how we have the full illustration and then just a single simple keyword. I think this is really going to be one that I love pulling alongside some other oracles. Lately for my daily reading, I've been doing 2 oracles where like one is more guidebook heavy and the other just kind of like brings in a little bit more simple of a message, or it's just a keyword, and then a tarot to go along with that as well. And I think this is gonna be like a really cool deck to bring in that more kind of straightforward keyword. And I mean, this has such a fall feel to it too. Oh, I'm loving this deck. I think it's one that I probably could keep out all year long. just the way the different colors are and things like that. But I'm really, really excited to use it for this Halloween season as well. So that is the Earthly Souls and Spirits Moon Oracle. And next, we've got the Mystic Misfits Oracle. Which is a bit of a smaller deck, but one that I really love. I really love this one. This is, the website on here is Lowbrow Misfits, but I know this creator also does a lot of stationery goods, journaling goods that I do have. I recently got some of, and their website, you can find them on Etsy, and I think they have a website too. I got them off Etsy, but their Paper Haunts is their shop name, but they sell this in there as well, so I'll put a link below. But I really, really love this creator's art style. It's so, like, fun and spooky, and, like, it's cute, creepy. I love pairing this one. Speaking of that, cute, creepy. I really love pairing this one with the Cute and Creepy Tarot, which I didn't show in this collection because I don't, that, surprise, surprise, my camera died. So anyway, I love pairing this with the, and you know, in that time, I just went and took it out, the Cute and Creepy Tarot. But I would love to know, people who have this deck, like, where does this fit for you? Because, like, theme-wise, I would think it should fit into this, like, kind of spooky season. But I think it's the bright colors that, like, I think just this time of year, I don't really lean into bright colors so much. So I don't know. I'm gonna keep this one out, though, with the rest of, oh my gosh, there's a huge hawk outside. Hello. I'm gonna keep this with my spooky season decks, as well as another one I thought of that I feel like I've got the same thing with, the Boo Tarot. Are we gonna focus? There we go. Also is one that, like, thematically fall, but color-wise, summer? I don't know. I don't know. We're gonna keep it out because maybe it's just, I'll be in the mood for a colorful Halloween deck. Who knows? Anyways, not the point. I really love this deck. I really like, it's nice and to the point. You get this fun flip book that you get, just like a single sentence and a few keywords about. I really, really like this one. The art style is so good. I'm so happy now that I've got some journaling stickers and some washi tape from them as well. Yeah, I got a few pieces of stationery. I think that will show up in my September wrap-up video. I think I showed that when I got it. We'll see. We'll find out. But Mystic Misfits, love that one. And during my needing my camera to charge, I nearly forgot one of my absolute favorite tarots for this time of year, the Madame Lydia Wilhemina, you know the rest, tarot. This one. I love this one, and my eyes completely skipped over it on my shelf. But this is another tarot mention for one that I really love using during the month of October. It's that perfect creepy feeling. Again, we get that, it's like that Victorian era creepy that I love so much for really just the whole darker half of the year. I really love everything about this deck. The artwork of it, the collage, everything is so good. So good about this deck. So I could not show it when I spotted it. I can't believe. Can't believe! I almost missed it because it's such a favorite. but it's already been out on my shelf for a while, where a lot of these other ones I kind of just switched in. So I think that's probably why my brain skipped over it. I mean, look at that death card. Does that not just describe everything and more of what I could want this time of year? Yes. All right, Madame Lydia Wilhemina's Tarot. Now this one is kind of one that goes like in and out of print. So I will put the creator's website below. And it's worth, you know, if you have Instagram, following them on Instagram, or if they have any sort of newsletter, because they do kind of random restocks. I don't know how long it's been since there's been one, but I have seen that. So, anyways, moving on to the oracles. Oh my gosh. Nope, I remember it. Mildred Payne's Secret Pocket Oracle. I've got the deluxe one. Because sometimes when decks get real mini, I forget about them. Terrible, terrible. So this one still is a small deck, but it's like that poker size that I love so much. You get so many cards in here. I talked about this one a bunch in my video from last week, my supplemental decks. Because this really, really functions well for me in that way, but it's kind of similar to how I use the Memento Mori Oracle. Also, I will have out all of my Claire Goodchild decks that I have, but those ones are year-round for me. My year-round dose of spooky Victorian, but you best believe I will be using them plenty this month. I didn't want to, I had so many decks to show that I was like, well, those are kind of consistent. So anyway, this one really does like function for me in a similar way, where I make my own meanings with the images that you get and the items in this deck, the things. I really love it. I love the whole style of this. Of course, anything Patrick Valenza has that natural spookiness to it. And this is no exception, and I love it. So that is the Mildred Payne Secret Pocket Oracle, the deluxe. Okay, next up, another one of those decks I showed in the supplemental decks, the Laurel Grove South Cemetery Elucidation deck by Holly Audley. This is one of her cemetery decks. That again, this is also, I think, kind of out of print, but she will kind of randomly like restock or like find some decks that she hadn't sold or something. I've seen it happen, so I will link to her website below, but I love this one. It's graveyard theme, so of course it's gonna be in this video. That just made me remember another deck I forgot to bring over. This video is gonna get so long. That's okay. It's my favorite time of the year, and I love spooky decks, so I've got a lot of them that I use year-round, but it feels like such prime time right now. So, that is the Laurel Grove South Cemetery deck. We won't spend too long on that because I showed a lot. An obvious one. The Halloween Oracle. This one's so great. Can we talk about the backs? Ooh, I dropped a card. Can we just... Yes. And I have this now. It is in the new Blue Angel cardstock, so it's a beautiful matte. I etched it in this red. But of course this is perfect for this time of year. It's called the Halloween Oracle, after all. But I find this one... This one is not gimmicky at all. And I don't know if I assumed it would be. I don't know. There was quite a few years. I got this one last year. So a long time where I was like, nope, like I'm not getting that oracle just for Halloween. I don't know why. I don't know why I thought that. But this deck is fantastic. The guidebook is really amazing. The messages it has, it's just so good. It's so good. I end up like using this far beyond Halloween season because I just think it's really, really a great one. But this is one of two oracles that I have that really feel like specifically for Halloween. And since Halloween is something I love so much, why not? Why not have it? Right? I love this one. It's so good. The Halloween Oracle. So, speaking of that, the other one I've got specifically for this season, Seasons of the Witch Samhain. Of course, I love this deck to pieces. It's such a spooky season classic now, isn't it? I love everything about this deck, like truly. I really love, honestly, the whole series. I think is really, really just fantastic. I don't even know that I could pick a favorite one. Probably so far, though, we've got kind of three, like getting like darker half or getting into the darker half of the year, and then one lighter half. And I think the like darker themed ones are my favorites, but I also just like that time of year a little bit more. So I'm excited to see more of the lighter half of the year ones come out. But this one is so great. It really is. I don't even know what there is to say. There's a journal that came out to go with this where you go through card by card and it has prompts. I'm a little interested. I'm intrigued. I think that could be a really cool thing to do for the month of October, is pull a card each day and go into that journal and really kind of dive into that card and how the creators kind of saw the intention of like things to think about behind it. So I don't know, we'll see. But that is the Seasons of the Witch Samhain. Love it. Okay. Eek. I've got a tower forming, and there it goes. That's alright. Next, the Witch's Familiars Oracle. Oh my gosh, the cheese. The cheese on this one is just about insane, but I can't not love it. I just... Look at the back. Oh my gosh, so good. This deck is just... It's a wild ride. I won't lie. It is a wild ride. The way the guidebook is written is like very, very, like Wiccan kind of witchy, where it gives you this message and ends it with like, so mote it be. And I just think, I don't know, I like it. I just like it a lot. So we get all animals and mythical creatures here. And I just love the idea of pulling one of these cards and it's your witch's familiar for the day. And I think just the way that the cards are formatted, but look at this, it's so horrifying. That image is so scary. There's just a healthy dose of cheesiness to this deck that I think really brings in that fun element of this time of year. And so I love having this one out for October. I really don't use this one much outside of this month, unless I'm really just wanting this cheesiness. But I have to say, like, the messages are really good. It's always really spot on. But isn't it so fun? It's so fun. There's a couple other decks in this series, like the Witch's Kitchen and the Witch's something. I can't think of it, but I want to say there's like two other decks by the same creator in this same style that seem really fun too, but this one is good for me. So that is the Witch's Familiar Oracle. And I've got two that I just want to highlight. But now that I'm kind of thinking about it, they're not really like ones I know either that I already do use all year round or just kind of know I will. So that wasn't really my point in this video. And I've got another one I'm going to show that I forgot about. But the two I'm talking about are the Embroidered Graveyard Oracle, and this one is new to me as well, but this is the Beloved Dead Oracle. And this is a ancestral ancestor work deck, and I do really think it's gonna fit this time of year really well, especially as we have that whole like theme of the veil thinning being easier to communicate with spirits. And so that's kind of why I took these decks out, because they both are geared towards spirit communication. But they do also fit into that same category as Memento Mori, which is another spirit communication deck, or that's what it's aimed at. You don't have to use it for that, of course. That the Embroidered Graveyard I use all year long, and I just feel like this is another one I'm gonna use all year long. So it's worth a mention because I will be using them throughout October, but I was trying to focus on ones that, like, they get the most play in October, and I don't think that's true for these decks. I think it's pretty even all year long, but I love them. So there's that. Now let me grab, real quick, the last oracle I have to show today. Where did I put it? There it is. Oh goodness, I'm making messes. The Graven Images Oracle. I've been loving this deck. It's another graveyard themed one, but this is all photographs of things featured on different gravestones. That doesn't sound right. What's that called? What? Is it just called a grave? Gravestone. Why does that sound wrong? Tombstone. Oh my gosh. Yep. Anyways. And I just think it's really good. I love the keywords on here, and the guidebook is really, really good. This is another one that I've loved pairing with another oracle for my morning readings. I have been using the Seasons of the Witch Mabon pretty exclusively every single day for my morning reading, and this has paired so magically with it, and so I'm really excited to try this one with the Seasons of the Witch Samhain. And this one, it's just got that spooky feeling, because cemetery, right? And this is one that I've had it for quite a bit now, and really have not used it at all until the last few weeks when it's starting to get cooler outside, where it's feeling like we're getting into that darker half of the year. So I know this is one that it'll probably be out beyond October, but pretty much darker half of the year. So that is the Graven Images Oracle, and that, my friends, is the last deck I have to show you today. So let me know what you're excited to use this spooky season, and other than that, I hope you're having a great week, and I'll see you again very soon.